Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now April 24th of 2020, and ever since the release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, a lot of fans around the world have been very curious about the future of the Star Wars franchise by Disney and Lucasfilm, and exactly what things are really going to look like by Bob Chapek and Iger in the next couple of years, as they handle Star Wars and Marvel in different ways. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the thing about Disney Star Wars is that as of right now, they are primarily focused on their TV shows and their new Star Wars films in order to really evolve the Star Wars franchise into something a bit more successful that's really going to gravitate toward a lot of the new fans and some of the hardcore fans that have been along with this franchise for decades. Now, when we look at Chapek and Iger, the fact that they are working together as a team, this is primarily because of the crisis at hand, globally speaking, that's happening as we speak, and will continue to happen for quite some time, and that's exactly why Bob Iger is back at Disney. He's trying to pretty much smoothly ride Disney as a company throughout this crisis and exactly how things will be handled. Now, when we look at everything related to the Star Wars trilogy, this new trilogy, also known as the fourth Star Wars trilogy, that's going to introduce a brand new mythology to Star Wars fans. This is what's really exciting, is that they really are trying to do something very dark and gritty for the fans, and one would argue on whether or not Star Wars should be a dark and gritty set of Star Wars movies. I, however, think that we are due for more dark and gritty Star Wars films. Now, with that being said, now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with The Rise of Skywalker, they are focused on their new Star Wars trilogy of films, as well as the new Star Wars universe. Lucasfilm is described to be hard at work on all three new Star Wars movies, and that the story for the films are all being worked together as one. One of the big plans by Lucasfilm for the fourth Star Wars trilogy is to introduce the spiritual realm of where the Sith go after death if they are successful to transfer their spirit into the unknown world. It's explained that the Sith realm, which is what the part of the film is dubbed as, is going to explore the ancient Sith spirits of the past that will have the power to possess some of the new dark side warriors in these movies that will be introduced in at least one of the new films by Disney. This plan by them is to make the films darker than ever before by use of the Sith, where Kevin Feige is said to be a producer and is actually said to be hard at work on trying to get actress Jennifer Lawrence and others on board for the new Star Wars film, as well as actor Keanu Reeves and even Kit Harington for the new Star Wars movies. The film is also said to introduce Sith gods watching over the entire universe, and are said to have been an original idea by George Lucas from the prequel trilogy era that Lucasfilm will be using. Not just that, but the first Skywalker in existence will also play a role in the new Star Wars movie, and that they have plans to redesign the character of Yoda and bringing a return of his character in these new Star Wars films in some way. The new film will also introduce the character of Abeloth and her secret about a hidden power stronger than the dark side and the light side of the Force. So, the thing that really does excite me a lot here is the character of Abeloth. Now, Abeloth is a character in Star Wars Legends that a lot of fans really enjoyed, because this character was pretty much the master of both the light and the dark, and even battled against Luke Skywalker. Obviously, they're going to be changing this character in unique ways. Number one, it's going to be set in a different timeline. Number two, this character is actually said to have a secret of an actual power stronger than the dark and the light. Basically, this new era, this new mythology is going to set up the concept of there being a dark, light side, and a different side of the Force that's going to be quite something else. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that, I will be honest. I will say here right now that I feel that you should keep it very basic and simple, and stick with just the dark and the light. Now, could this very well be their own version of maybe an approach of the Grey Jedi or something around those lines? Big possibility, but I don't think so. I think that this is something completely different that we have never seen before. More like, per se, it could very well be the power of the gods, or the Whills, if you will. That, to me, I think is a bigger possibility here, since the Whills are said to have a massive impact on this new Star Wars trilogy, and will play a large role because they are using a lot of George Lucas's original ideas that never made it to the prequel trilogy movies. So, the other thing that I do want to go over is how Kevin Feige is attached as a producer for these new movies, and he's trying to get actors like Jennifer Lawrence, Jennifer Connelly, Keanu Reeves, Kit Harington, Gerard Butler, all these different actors that are actually going to be associated with Star Wars. That's what Kevin wants, and that's what he's trying to do. So, the thing about these new Star Wars films, it's going to have a different tone, because Kathleen Kennedy is no longer involved on a creative level for the new Star Wars movies, and to me, I think that's a great thing. I think that's a fantastic thing. I cannot wait personally to see how they're going to compare to the sequel trilogy and the spin-off films, and whether or not they will be more successful at that. That's the biggest question. Are they going to be more successful, or are they going to really have a big lag when it comes to box office results? So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Thank you.